right, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, take a roll call. We've got all board members present. And then before we move further, we are adding a closed session after board comments to discuss a possible property acquisition. So we will be going into closed session, but that'll be after board comments. It's not on the agenda. And as we start the agenda, we will go through the approval of the consent agenda, which is the minutes of the April 24th regular board meeting.
I move that we approve the consent agenda for tonight's meeting.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? All right, public comments. I understand you might have a public commenter.
So we're excited to introduce Kelvin Ginn as one of our students and Mrs. Christopherson. They participated in Law Day, and Mr. Nolan, many of you know him from Rotary. I'm going to let Mrs. Christopherson brag on Kelvin a little bit because he's got something pretty cool that we're going to celebrate and then get to share with all of you. So Mrs. Christopherson, do you want to tell him what he did?
Yeah, so Calvin is a 9th grader here at Muskegon, a U.S. history student, and we had 2 9th grade participants this year in Law Day, which was pretty awesome. Well, we started with like 5, but 2 that actually saw it through to the end, and Calvin won first place for the 9th through 11th grade category, so we were very proud of him. His speech was awesome. His delivery, he went second out of 20 students in the county to present in a courtroom full of lawyers and judges. There were 4 judges there, and teachers and students, and it was pretty serious, and he did amazing. And then we had a banquet and everything, and it turns out North Muskegon really showed up because we had 3 out of the 4 winners for the art category, which is elementary. We had the top 2 essay winners from 8th grade, and then Calvin took first place for the 9th through 11th. And unfortunately, our seniors didn't place, but they did amazing as well. We had 2 seniors present. So I asked Calvin if he would share his speech with the board tonight because I need more people that need to hear this. And he's going to be on the radio tomorrow at 8 a.m. And so the topic was civics, civility, and collaboration. So you should hear that theme come up in his speech. So whenever you're ready, Calvin.
I quote the revered Jewish theologian who walked alongside Martin Luther King Jr., Abraham Joshua Heschel, who said, in a controversy, the instant we feel anger, we have already ceased striving for truth and have begun striving for ourselves. Our democratic form of government is based directly on the will of the people as the ultimate authority, recognizing majority rule without infringing on minority rights. When we, the citizens of a democracy, are not taught civility, civics, and collaboration, we allow our emotions to control us and we lose the ability to practice civil discourse, as we only see our answer as the truth. Our emotions are not effective tools for creating trust and open-minded discovery. Today, I will talk about the importance of understanding civics, necessary for finding shared values and common ground for solutions to problems. A problem with our democracy is that the citizens struggle to work together. According to the Annenberg Public Policy Center, in 2022, of the 1,113 citizens surveyed about their civic knowledge, 47% could not name all 3 branches of our government. A court case related to this is the Rhode Island lawsuit filed by students in 2022, demanding a better civic education under the Constitution. The students and the Rhode Island Department of Education collaborated and came to an agreement so as not to proceed to the U.S. Supreme Court, providing students lasting improvements in civic preparation. They implemented a civics diploma seal for graduates with a high level of proficiency in civic education, skills, and civic engagement. Proficient coursework was agreed upon that identified students' knowledge, values, motivations, and their desire to make a difference, resulting in positive change. I would propose that civics be rigorously taught to all students so that they understand how to work together to protect freedom. The purpose of civic education is to sustain our system of representative democracy and seek truth. Tinker versus Des Moines Independent School District, 1969, is an example of 3 students who wore black armbands to school in protest of Vietnam and were suspended. The students sued the schools and secured their rights. Also, Westside Community Schools versus Mergens case, 1990, had a student who wanted to start an after-school Christian club but was denied the right to do so. She sued the school and won the case. These 2 court cases are examples of informed students making changes through our democratic process. Citizens who are informed are empowered to discuss policy civilly and participate as informed voters in current issues. Being informed contributes to collaboration and protects their freedoms and democratic process. Although some critics would argue that civics is a waste of time because it is not a quick fix, I say that it's a foundational step in the right direction. Civics is not a quick fix, but rather a process that promotes respectful debate and collaboration for solutions. I would argue that civic education is a cornerstone of freedom. What can we do? We can follow the example of Rhode Island and 5 other states and implement changes to improve civic knowledge in our curriculum. We can provide opportunities for students to openly discuss controversial issues, debate current events, focus on community projects, and understand how our check and balance systems work for us. Let's provide students with this toolbox of resources and inspire leaders, as Heschel reminds us, who strive for truth and protect democratic principles. Thank you.
Follow that, Will?
As an attorney, and it was Law Day, and I've heard lots about Law Day in the past, and several people in my office have been involved, and it's a great program. But that was a wonderful speech, and you obviously did a lot of research to come up with that, and very, very impressive, both in the content and the presentation. So congratulations on winning, but also just that's great to see that you really put some heart and soul into that and clearly understand what you're talking about. And it's very impressive. I was just going to ask, I don't know if there's a way we can put that on a website or something like that.
It was just live streamed.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yes, we
yeah.
can. And I didn't want to say anything, but that was just live streamed. Well,
Radio tomorrow too.
Yeah, yeah, at 8 p.m. And I'm sure we can get a recording from John Nolan of the radio show. It's with prosecutor DJ Hilson. They have some kind of radio show. I can't think of the name of it. Do you recall what it was?
Is it with Andy O'Reilly? The Muskegon channel?
It is
It's
on the
Andy
Muskegon
O'Reilly?
channel. Yes.
It's the AM radio. Yeah,
Yes.
it's probably Andy O'Reilly's.
8 a.m. So you can catch it again.
Awesome. Yeah, send us that link when you get it. That's awesome.
Nice job, Kelly.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Alrighty. Any other public comments? Follow that.
maybe. Nope, hold those, or hold them, thanks. We're good.
We're good. Okay. All right. Thank you again. That was great to hear. Next, committee reports. Financial.
We met just prior to this meeting. We reviewed our accounts payable for April, and then the general fund, food service, technology, sinking and capital improvement fund balances and financials. Reviewed the balance sheet, credit cards, and then discussed the bond project a bit. And we reviewed some bond planning meetings that Kurt has been involved with OAK and Tower Pinkster. And that's about it.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Academic affairs.
We met,
Go ahead.
we met last week and talked about several different items. We talked about the upcoming playground project using some ESSER funds through the early childhood program that we house here. We also talked about some of our partnerships with the city and the future of our custodial care of the building too, and how those two intertwine between each other. And then we discussed the personnel issue also. I think, was there anything else, Kurt?
That was it. That's it. Sounded like the same meeting I was at there.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. All right, next on to new business. First is the approval of the MASD annual budget resolution, which form is attached.
I think, was it Ben that was lucky enough to go this year and represent us? Or-
Yep, so spent a quick 20 minutes, I think, with other area representatives from the county. Went over the MAISD budget and kind of as a fine-tooth comb, but as quick as 20 minutes. So it's pretty straightforward. I think, you know, MAISD is doing good work, and I think that the budget looked sound as far as presented.
And there's a resolution in your board packet.
Yes.
So we need a motion, a second, and then we'll roll call that.
Yep.
All right, I move to approve the resolution for the intermediate school district budget.
Second.
All right, it's been moved in second. Are there any questions for Ben? Thank you for attending that. A few of us have also had that privilege for years. Any other questions, comments? Okay, if not, we'll do a roll call. We'll start with Carolyn.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
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 All right, so that is approved. All right, next is the approval of the MASD biennial election resolution. And here, our school boards are tasked with, if I'm misstating this, Kurt, let me know, but are tasked with voting for ISD board members. And there are 2 openings this year, and there were 6 people that are running for those 2 positions. And we've each been given, as board members, brief biographies of the 6 candidates. And I think Kurt has sort of been available to answer any questions that people may have. What we talked about doing in this case of looking to promote discussion, but also on the candidates, and then eventually have our votes, to start to gain some interest, is to have everybody put down either 2 or 3 candidates on a piece of paper that we've received, but you have to put your name down too, because this is public. And then we'll have Christy read those out, and that'll give us some preliminary indication as to the candidates that people are interested in. After that, we can have some more discussion or proceed to making motions to vote on candidates. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. You don't need to rank them at this point. It's just an expression of interest, and we'll see which names people bring up.
And we need to designate a board member to be a representative.
Yes, yeah, we'll do that,
And
part of that too.
okay.
I'll be in contact for you, Christine.
And I'm sorry, we're putting 2 or 3 names.
You can put either 2 or 3. I just, if some people might have more than 2 that they would be.
Thank you. want me to read each
Say who
person?
it- Say
Okay.
who it's
Yeah.
from, and then their names that they're listed.
Okay. Will Meyer, Lee Suits, Mike Weeses, and Alan Batka. Lisa Winter, Earl O'Brien, Wanda Suits, Michael Weeses. Steve Bliss, Wanda Suits, Michael Weeses. Ben Shear, Wanda Suits, Mike Weeses, and Earl William O'Brien. Susan Burmeister was Alan Batka and Earl William O'Brien. I'm saying that right. Mary Moulton was Wanda Lee Suits, Michael Weeses, and Earl Bill O'Brien. And Carolyn Nadeau, Wanda Suits, and Michael Weeses.
Do you want Chris to do a quick tally, or? was
Yeah,
it-
did everybody get that? I don't know if Christie did a tally.
I'm
I know, I should.
right now.
I did, but I'm not guaranteed I got it all down.
Okay, Wanda Lee Suits and Mike Weeses both had 6 votes.
Okay.
Earl O'Brien had 4, and Alan Batka had 2.
Okay. All right.
So,
So now, if anybody has any questions or comments or statements that they would like to make regarding any of those candidates? Also, I guess if anybody has a question about, first, I guess the first on our form resolution here is designating a representative. So first, I guess we could look at taking motions on that, if anybody that would be. What do we have to do for that? Does anybody
You have to go and actually make the vote
Vote, that's
as
what I
the
thought.
board does it,
On Monday,
as it's
June
depicted
5th.
on the resolution.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Monday, June 5th, at
Is
the
that
ISD.
Is that at 5 o'clock?
I think theirs are at 5 o'clock, yes, I'm pretty sure, I'd have to check. And we need a rep and then an alternate, just in case the rep can't make it.
I might not be in town, so.
I think I would be able to do that. We don't have a board meeting.
I'll be your support, your backup.
Well,
Thank you.
somebody has to make motion.
So I'll make a motion to appoint Will Meyer as a representative to the MAISD biennial election, and similar motion to appoint Ben Shear as the alternate. Support.
And we'll do it this way. We'll do each of these in order as we go down. So let's. It's been moved and seconded, and can you take each of these as separate votes? Not really set up like that on the form.
So, number 2 is you support, who's the first candidate you support for
Do we
6,
wanna do
they're
all
both
these at
6-year
once?
terms.
Can we do, like, have separate votes for, like, for this part of it, and then for the 2 different nominations?
Yeah, I would go ahead and knock out
Oh,
who
yeah.
our designees are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
There's
then-
basically 3 separate
Okay.
votes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay. So, okay. All right, and do we need to roll call these as well?
since it's a resolution, and
At the bottom of the resolution, it is overall a roll call.
Yeah, okay. All right. All right, so it's been moved and seconded to appoint Will Meyer as the representative and Ben Shear as the alternate. And seconded. Any discussion on that? All those in favor, please say aye. Or no, roll call. Mrs. B?
Aye.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So next, these are both terms of 6 years. It doesn't, there's not one person or the other, even though Wanda Lee Suits is an incumbent. It's still just an open position, so we're not voting for a particular spot. Is there any discussion, or is anybody ready to make a motion?
My thoughts were that 3 of the candidates have experience on local school boards and understand how school boards function. And I think that a representative on the MAISD, having that knowledge would make them would do a better job of representing our interests as a school board, since they understand the issues that we're dealing with, kind of like in the trenches, sort of, so to speak. And so that's the reason why I put down the three people that I did, which was O'Brien, Suits, and Weese's. And speaking about Wanda Suits specifically, she spent many years on the Montague School Board and has also been on the MAISD, and she's done a nice job, and she's represented us well, and so she's kind of at the top of my list. So that was a little bit of my thinking. I don't know if anybody else wants to add what they're thinking, so we can.
I will jump in with where I was at. Totally agree with your thinking. The only issue that maybe differed on a little bit, I knew Bill O'Brien or Earl. I'm not sure how I got to know him at dinners, board meeting dinners or something. And I also know that his son is also superintendent at Mona Shores, and have talked to a number of board members there. And I'm just concerned that he would very much represent the larger districts, and we sit at the very other end of Mona Shores and Muskegon, and so that was my only hesitancy with that individual.
And that's interesting, because that actually, Weese's, I don't know if everybody knows or not, but so Michael Weese's sat on the Reese Puffer board, and so that was one of the things that I talked with Kurt about earlier, that I'm agreeing with you, that I think that we have such a great relationship with Reese Puffer and collaborate with them so much, that I do think that his experience on the Reese Puffer board would probably represent our interests, North Muskegon, better than Bill's. So narrowing it down from my 3 to 2, that's where I was going to go. But I wanted to hear from everybody else too.
Not a lot of experience in my end with the candidates, but certainly like Wanda as the incumbent, and also her background as well, I think represents Muskegon well.
Any other comments? I do know, I just briefly state, there were several good candidates, and the other person I had put on my list was Alan Baca. I don't know Alan. I think one thing that did interest me a little bit on him, and I agree with kind of everybody's comments about experience and so forth. I kind of like the business background he had in the tech side of things, in the tech center. There's some interesting background. That was why I was interested. I don't know anything about him. And I do think there's some value in broadening some of that base. That being said, he was probably my third choice out of the 3, but I did have some interest in him as a potential candidate for that reason.
I liked Alan's comment about education is the cornerstone to success in our community. And then Earl O'Brien said, I can work with all of you in continuing to build a solid foundation for our community through the education of our children. And both said something about kids, and I thought that hit my heart.
I'll go ahead and admit that I looked up all of these people on social media to see what they're publicly putting out there, but we tell our kids to be careful, and adults should be careful also. So there were 2 just hard passes for me, but I put down O'Brien, Suits, and Weese's on my paper. And I think, following Mary's line of thinking, that Wanda and Mike would probably be our best bet.
I was also interested in Kathleen 6, with the idea that it might be a good idea to have a teacher actually on the board who's, you know, been in the classroom and doing all that, but in narrowing it down to my two, I did go with Wanda Suits and Michael Reese's.
Everybody's had a chance to speak. If there's somebody who would like to make a motion for one of the candidates, we can proceed.
I would motion that item 2 of the resolution that we're discussing, we put the name Wanda Suits, and then on the, do you want them one at a time?
No, let's do them one at a time.
Okay.
Support?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion regarding proposition for Wanda Lee Suits? Okay, let's take a roll call vote then, and we'll start with Mrs. B.
Then it's just a support vote, correct?
Correct.
Okay, yes, support.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, and then we can look to take another motion for the second candidate that we need to support.
I move to designate Michael John Weeses for MAISD board member.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that Michael Weeses be the second candidate that we support. I guess we should also clarify that's to direct the representative to vote for that candidate. That's the second part of that. I think that was part of what the motion was originally. I don't know if that's what you were trying to clarify. The second part of the resolution is to support, and the second part is directs the representative.
Do we need to have
The board,
a vote
okay,
for
I
that?
move that the board directs its representative to vote for the candidate, Wilmeyer,
Yeah.
to vote for the candidate, Michael John Weeses.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call. We'll start with Carol.
Yes.
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 Why don't we go back then and we should probably do it for Wanda, to direct the representative to vote for her as well.
I adjust my motion not only to name Wanda Lee Suits for the position on the Muskegon Area Intermediate School District, and also direct its representative Wilmeyer, our representative Wilmeyer, to vote for candidate Wanda Lee Suits in the first ballot taken at the June 5th, 2023 election.
Support.
Don't make me say it again.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded. Roll call. We'll start with Mrs. B.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, we got that. All right, thank you, everybody. That's an interesting process, and I know there's been some discussion amongst the area superintendents about that, but
Do we need to actually pass the entire resolution?
I don't think
Just
so.
did.
I think we just did.
No, I know where you were going with that. No, I think we got what we need.
So just for our public who are here, we sort of stumbled through this process. It's the first time we've ever had to do it this way, because in the past, there's never been more candidates than there's been slots, and so it's been really easy just to motion and move forward. This kind of discussing it and taking a vote in public forum is a new thing, and so I just kind of wanted to explain
Yeah,
that.
it's definitely been a unique situation.
So next year will be better. Not next year, but.
All right, onward. Next, we have more enjoyable projects that we have, duties that we have. Offer of additional probationary status as recommended by the administrative staff.
Yeah. Some amazing people listed there that we're very, very fortunate to have working with our kids every day. So pretty easy to bring this recommendation to the board by the administrative team. We're very, very fortunate. Every name on there.
Are there any questions or comments on the names? How many do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, ranging from first years to fourth years. And this is just continuing on their probationary period, and then we've got 3 for tenure, but
Yep, correct.
10 so far. So always great to see the young people moving through this process.
My only comment is that the impact that Caleb had on my daughter and on other people and on this community, I can't believe he's only been here 4 years. Feels like he's been here a long time. So I was kind of surprised to see his name pop up there.
I move that we approve the probationary teacher.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the continued probationary period for 10 different teachers here. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. And then, next is the offer of tenure status as recommended by the administrative staff. And we've got 3.
Everything I just said about that list of probationary, ditto for these 3 names. Three amazing staff members.
I move to approve the recommended list of teachers for tenure.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve for tenure Anna Bokamp, Sarah Bahorsky, and Russ Vanderweer. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Great, congratulations. That's always great to see, and as we're going to see in our next 2 as well, attract excellent staff here at North Muskegon, and it's something that I know the board's proud of, and the administrators as well. It's kind of one of the special features of our district, which is great. Next is the approval of the hiring of Brittany Miller.
I'm going to give the floor over to Janet. Because I know she's excited to do this.
I'm like so excited about that. It's like a kid at Christmas. Brittany is one of our candidates that came through quite the rigorous process. I will say, you're like, yeah. She taught, she interviewed, she wrote letters, she did a video, she did all kinds of things to reflection. So she did a great job. Really, I would just want to highlight how she's shown like her relationships and connecting with kids, and the way she was able to jump in. She taught a middle school lesson with food during her mini lesson, and and did a really great job navigating that. If you've ever been in a middle school classroom, you know how tricky that can be, and then to have frosting and licorice. So the style is really awesome. So we're just excited to welcome her as our middle school science teacher. She's an alum, so welcome back home. She said that in her interview, and y'all know I started crying. So just can't say enough awesome things about her and how excited we are to have her join our team. So.
I will move to approve the hiring of Brittany Miller.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the hiring of Brittany Miller. Any other questions or comments?
Welcome aboard.
All those in favor?
How this vote's going.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh dear. All right. Congratulations.
Thank
Welcome
you.
aboard. That's great. Next, approval of the hiring of Maddie Gleason.
Another awesome candidate. Maddie went through, again, the same really rigorous, fast process, very, very thorough, and was just shining. She rose to the top as well. Again, one of her strengths was her ability to connect with kids. She taught our freshman English group, which is a large group of freshmen, very active on a warm spring day, and she did a really great job just connecting with all of the kids and building relationships right away. Kids did reflections afterwards, and they noticed that, and so I just want to say thank you for that, because that makes a big difference. One of her strengths I'm really looking forward to is the writing process, and so that's something that we really want to grow in our ELA department, so we're excited to have her join. She also has some theater, and we're already getting ready to beat the seniors in the lip sync contest at Snow Hunting, so that's kind of a big deal. But we're just really excited to have her part of our team as well.
Alrighty, another enthusiastic endorsement. Great.
I move to approve the hiring of Matthew Gleason.
Support.
All right. All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the hiring of Maddie Gleason. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations and welcome aboard.
Yes, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
All right, and then last on our new business is the approval of the resignation of Jim Loschitz as environmental mechanics.
Yeah, I'm going to do a handoff to Penny, but first I have to go back in time a little bit. I've known Jim a long, long time, and it started when I was running youth job training programs in Montague, Whitehall, Reese Puffer, Holton area. And Jimmy was the leader of the transportation department, and I would always place at least one, but usually two, and sometimes I'd rope him into 3 kids that he would take under his wing for the summer. So that gave me a chance to get to know the real Jim Loschitz, and he's a true educator. And when you talk about the person that's had jobs always behind the scenes, that's Jim. So he. You guys probably didn't even know we had our own side mechanic, I bet you. Maybe you might have heard me talking about him a little bit, but Jimmy's helped us out for many, many years here at North Muskegon. And when I realized that he was who wrenched on our buses 14 years ago when I got here, I couldn't believe it, because I hadn't seen him in a while, and it was just fun. So he's an amazing, amazing guy, and has done just an awesome job for us. So I think Penny's roped him into maybe doing some sub-driving still, so that's why he's only resigning from wrenching. He's not. So thanks for being here too, Jimmy. That's great.
That's great.
Yeah, Jim's done a great job for not only this school district, but many school districts. He drives for Orchard View, he drives for Montague, Whitehall, Orchard View, North Muskegon, multiple school districts. He also does all the bus certification, the certificate, the commercial driver's license, licensures. After we train the new drivers, then we send them to him to test them to make sure that they can pass and get their license. So he is an integral part of West Michigan in general with regards to the school bus department, so we're very thrilled that he's not throwing in the towel completely on all things, but definitely wanted to register my thanks to him as a mechanic, master mechanic for North Muskegon schools. He's been around here. The certificate says Certificate of Appreciation for 999 years of wrench turning. And if you know Jim Loschitz, then you know that he gets that joke and laughs about it. So he's a fun guy, and we're going to miss him in the mechanic part, but we're very thankful that he's staying around as a wrench turner, or as a sub driver. So got this certificate for him. I'll have to get Kurt's John Hancock on there.
He probably won't sign it, that's okay.
I should have forged it. I also got this little school bus, and it's got a little wrench attached to the top, just as a small memento for Jim. And it says, Jim, we honor you, love NMPS. And it's from 2002, September of 2002 is when he started with this district. And has done all kinds of wonderful stuff for North Muskegon and beyond. So thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, when I hired in,
as I retired from Whitehall, the superintendent up there, North Muskegon, you guys were looking for a supervisor. And he called me up and I said no, and they found somebody else for supervisor. But a couple months later, they were looking for a mechanic. And I said, well, I interviewed with Jay McGee, if any of you guys know who he was. And it goes back a few years. Didn't put an application in, told them how many hours a week I'd work on them. Thought I set my wage high enough so they didn't take me. And they did anyway. It's been an honor working for you guys, putting faith in me. You'd never question anything I did, which is great. And I hope I served you guys well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In fact, some of you may have seen me as an examiner for automobile tests too. I'm still doing that. Been 25 years at that. So.
All right, I'm going to see you real soon.
Same here. Yeah. Thank you again.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's fantastic, Jim. I'm glad you showed us another great story at North Muskegon. People enjoy their time here, so it's a good sign for our newbies that our more senior people leave with smiles on their faces. So that's great, and still want to stick around. So that's great.
And Jen, get going. She's got to go.
Enjoy.
Oh, okay. All right. So we could take a motion for accepting the resignation.
If we don't motion, does he have to stay?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry,
Good try.
we say every time.
I motion to approve the resignation of Jim with regret.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Well, thank you for your time here, and glad you're sticking around.
You haven't seen the last of
That's
them.
what it sounds like. So that's fantastic.
Can't shake you.
No,
No,
that's great.
if they need help with consulting or something, helping out, I'll help you guys. You're not going to get rid of me that easy.
That's great. All righty. We'll do board comments, and then we'll look to go into the closed session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, I've been going back and forth tonight. I don't remember where we started. We'll start with Carol.
Okay. Well, first I want to say congratulations to Kelvin. That was quite a speech that he not only wrote so well, but his delivery, and he is a very impressive young man. I want to welcome Brittany and Maddie to our team, and I want to thank Jim for his 999 years of service, and wish him well in his next chapter. I think he did the road test for 2 of my 3 kids anyway.
I would like to echo all of that, except he's only given a road test to 1 of my 3 children so far. And fun story about Calvin, my girls had like a karaoke birthday party in like 5th grade or so. He was one of 2 boys in this sea of little girls, and Calvin got up and did Eye of the Tiger as a solo by himself, and he rocked it. And so he's always got a special place in my heart, and that was a great presentation. Yeah, and welcome to the new teachers, and congratulations to all those who are going to be staying with us and who earn tenure.
Now that you guys have covered everything. That's the problem with board comment. So, but I echo what all of you said, and particularly the teachers that have, continuing probation, and our newly tenured teachers. I kind of made a comment about Caleb having been here. It seemed to me like he's been here so long, but certainly, and I only have a lot of experience in middle school, high school right now. But Chip Vanderweer, the same. I mean, he has just come in and changed the whole culture when it comes to the fine arts. We always had the musical part, but he's really changed the culture and the fine arts. And beyond that, Jen was talking about these young ladies being able to connect with students, and I think that Chip is at the top of that list of our staff members. We have so many that do an excellent job of it, but Chip can really just connect with kids, identifies what they need. I think his specialty kind of lends a little bit to that, because there's a little bit of flexibility in how he can approach students. But we are just so fortunate to have him here, and I'm was surprised he wasn't already tenured either, because he seems like he's been here so long. So, and I'm sure that both of the women in the elementary who received tenure, I've heard from people in the community that feel just as passionate about them and their place here. And so I just kind of want to give a shout out to all three of our newly tenured teachers and everybody who supports them in their job. So that's my comment.
Before you go, Will's just looking through, I'm sorry to pass it along earlier, thank yous from the Pops kids,
Oh.
right?
Yeah, I mean, just the level of talent, both on staff and new, is outstanding. I just, you know, makes our job easier to come in and just, and fun, you know, this is the future of our school. I really, you know, I'm proud to support this, and in a nutshell, everything from our continuing on with great teachers and continuing probation, and of course the tenure, and then the new additional staff. So definitely good for Norse Nation, and happy to see that.
Yeah, just to follow up on that a little bit too, you know, one of the many distressing things you see on the news these days is that people are leaving the teaching profession, and a lot of districts are having trouble hiring teachers, and we still are able to attract great teachers that really want to be here, which is very fortunate for our district, and a great testament to the environment where they're going to come and work. I think this is where teachers want to come, and I think it's thanks to our administrators and our teachers that that's the case. So we're fortunate, and tonight was definitely evidence of that. So, otherwise, sounds like everything's in good shape. We're all good for graduation? Everything?
Yep, we're making some tweaks. Jen's gonna get all that information coming out soon, but restructuring kind of seating and some other things so that I think it's gonna be good. So
Okay.
you'll hear much more about that. But yes, graduation is
Right around the corner.
right around
Right around
the corner.
Well, that's why I was.
We'll be ready.
It's a week from Friday,
Yep.
Yep, I do. Got Mr. Carroll. Okay, that was all I had.
I really can't add any more. In the notes, please do reflect that I congratulated new teachers. Thanks to Calvin for his speech, all that good stuff.
Sorry to go laugh.
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm slowing you down.
No, Calvin is my neighbor.
Oh.
I've known him since he was, like I know everybody since it's been this. But he really surprised me tonight. I've never seen that side of him. And I'm very proud of him. Nice job.
Proud was the word I was going to use. If you're not, I mean, you got to be proud to be a part of this organization after tonight. Calvin set the standard at the very beginning, and it was just fun from there on after. So really, really great board meeting. Proud for sure.
If the bar, he said, is you ever use note cards, don't ever
Look at it.
Wow.
It was like flipping them at the right time.
I think you put a little bit of time in.
Yeah, too.
For hours.
Yeah. All right, now we are going to look to go into closed session, but we need a motion and to do that, and then another roll call vote.
I move to go to closed session to discuss property acquisition.
Support. All right, so moved and seconded. Roll
Yes.
call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay, that's the end of the public portion of the meeting, and we will see you all next time.
And that